everyone, my name is Darlene Handrinata Putri, and my team members, Fanny Tan, Emmanuel, Pauline, Xavier, and our supervisor, Ms. Tatum Adeningrum. Today, Fanny and I will be representing our group with the topic of our research paper, Trust and Adoption of AI-Powered Robo-Advisors Among Students in Greater Jakarta. This study investigates the trust and adoption of AI-powered robo-advisors among university students in Indonesia using the Unified Theory of Acceptance and Use of Technology, also known as the UTAUT framework, which are influencing factors towards the trust to adopt such technology. This is the content for today, and let's start with the introduction. Robo-advisors are online financial advisors that provide automated portfolios based on the customer's preferences. Algorithm-driven financial investment services that can efficiently manage client assets are examples of financial robo-advisors, also known as FRAs. Technology adaptations like these robo-advisors, powered by AI, manage portfolios, track spending, consider risk tolerances, as well as investment goals. Some robo-advisors offer access to human interaction, although most of the best advisors are fully automated. FRAs are deemed to be able to reduce risky investment behaviors. A recent case related to the rise in cryptocurrency has created a problem called pump and dump. The reason as to why this phenomenon is illegal and dangerous is due to the fact that prices of cryptocurrency has been pumped to a higher number, then the owners of the NFTs will sell their share for a profit, which causes the price to crash and get dumped, leaving the other buyers with substantial losses. For future buyers to avoid these problems, the use of robo-advisors has been decreasing the chances of crashing prices. Robo-advisors can be found in online platforms like ICISS, Bibit, Baraksa, and Hellovina in Indonesia. The Robo-Advisor segment's overall user base will grow up to 7% and around 800,000 users by 2028. Retail investors, or known as individual investors, are non-professional investors who trade and invest in their own accounts using conventional or other accounts to carry out their trades. The Indonesian Central Security Depository stated that 56.43% of capital market investors in Indonesia are young retail investors, or YRIs, who are people between the ages of 18 to 29 years old. So, the problem statement, Indonesia has 20 million crypto investors. 23% of them are students. There's a critical gap between robo-advisor growth and financial literacy. This creates an over-reliance on automated systems that can lead to poor investment decisions. Despite the proven UTAUT framework for technology adoption, there is a lack of understanding of how Indonesian investors develop initial trust in AI-powered financial advisors. And the objective is, this research aims to address the key variables that influence university students in Jabodetabek, Jakarta, Bogor, Depok, Tangerang, and Bekasi on their initial trust and behavioral intention in using FRA for investment. The conceptual model, where the UTAUT framework along with the trust propensity are the independent variables, with the mediating variables of initial trust in FRAs, and the behavioral intention to use FRAs as the dependent variable. Method. A quantitative method was used in the study to examine the important factors to build trust and behavioral intention. The researchers adapted these items used by Nurallah. The questionnaire was created using Google Forms and written in English and Indonesian language in this Google Forms. Before answering the questionnaire, respondents were also given an explanation about FRAs and their features. The questionnaire used a scale from 1 to 6, and this research was analyzed using PLS-SEM. The descriptive stats of the respondents are narrowed down to gender, age, majority in 20 to 22 years old, the participant's investment per month, majority in less than 500,000 rupiah, types of investment mostly in multiple types, the periods of investment mostly invested for 1 to 3 years, and not using FRAs as the majority of experiencing with the FRA feature in platforms.
Moving on, I'll explain about the data analysis. All constructs show excellent reliability, with composite reliability between 0.93 to 0.959. For convex alpha is 0.899 to 0.968. And it also showed a good convergent validity with AVE bigger than 0.692, and for the outer loadings between 0.803 to 0.961. Most of the HTMT values were below 0.90, but 6 constructs pair exceeds this threshold. This means that these pairs are not significantly different, and their indicators might be highly correlated, meaning that they measure the same thing. But the SRMR of 0.063 confirmed that this model is a good model fit. Moving on to the structural model, the R-square value for initial trust is 0.84, meaning that 84% of the variation in initial trust is explained by the independent variables. The R-square value for behavior intention is 0.728, meaning that 72.8% of the independent variables can explain the variation of behavior intention. This indicates a strong relationship between independent and dependent variables. For the effect size, initial trust showed the strongest effect on behavior intention, followed by price value and performance expectancy. The VIL showed that there is a low multicollinearity except for behavior intention 6. Next, I'll explain about the hypothesis testing. The result of hypothesis test showed that hypothesis 2, which is performance expectancy towards initial trust, hypothesis 7, price value towards initial trust, and hypothesis 8, which is initial trust towards behavior intention, have a significant relationship because the p-value is smaller than 0.05, while hypothesis 1, hypothesis 3, 4, 5, and 6 show insignificant relationship. To understand further, I will explain each variable one by one. The first one is trust propensity. Trust propensity did not significantly affect initial trust. Trust propensity means that the tendency of an individual to trust something or someone. However, everyone's trust propensity and perception to trust machine-driven automation may have different trustworthiness. One of the main reasons is due to the lack of human interaction. And also, previous studies mentioned that individuals generally trust AI for the quick access to information. However, their trust in AI declines for complex tasks. Next one is performance expectancy. Performance expectancy showed has a large role in shaping users' expectation of how well financial robo-advisors work. People with a positive experience with FRA expect to have the same experience, making them more likely to trust FRA that demonstrate high performance. In contrast, people who have a negative past experience with FRA will still remain skeptical. FRA providers should prioritize high performance and reliability while also developing unique features such as support for personal needs, transparency to build a better trust in the long run, and better security to further strengthen users' trust in FRA. Next one is effort expectancy. Effort expectancy didn't have a significant impact towards initial trust. This means that while ease of use facilitates adoption, it alone cannot build trust in financial decision-making context. Because trust requires a deeper psychological reassurance that simple usability cannot provide. Instead, factors such as perceived usefulness, transparency, and security are more influential in establishing trust. This means that making the interface simple should be less important than showing young investors that the platform is valuable and transparent. Next is social influence. Social influence is the degree to which people in your surroundings use a certain technology that can shape how much people trust these financial robo-advisors. However, the results show that social influence is not always a good way of predicting whether someone will trust or not. There are other factors beyond the core UTAUT construct that may indirectly affect the relationship between social influence and the initial trust. Trust in something is built through personal, authentic social endorsement and personal relationship. Peer recommendation can influence technology adoption, but their influence is not particularly significant in the world of digital financial services because the absence of human interaction in robo-advisory platforms. Moving on to the facilitating condition. Facilitating condition mean that there is a technical support, reliable internet infrastructure, and user-friendly platforms and a regulatory framework. However, from our research, results have shown that facilitating condition does not have a significant and it is the least significant compared to the rest of the variable. The first factor is the lack of human-to-human interaction. Since AI-driven education cannot provide timely responses to user feedback, it does not suggest a facilitating condition towards a primary interaction. The second factor is financial literacy in Indonesia. Studies mention that the significant role done by the government is facilitating financial literacy. Although licensing and regulation can help ethically monitor the use of AI, users with more financial knowledge are more likely to invest with the use of robo-advisors compared to those with less knowledge. The more developed countries with higher financial literacy rates benefit from advanced technological infrastructure, financial resources, and progressing regulatory frameworks that result in smoother facilitating condition for FRA adoption compared to Indonesia. Next is hedonic motivation. The joy that derives from using this technology didn't have a significant role in creating initial trust towards the system. This is because young retail investors are exposed to financial education. So, financial robo-advisors are perceived as a tool to enhance their financial planning and performance. For students with financial awareness who are risk-conscious about their decision, they may even view this hedonic motivation as a hindrance if the feature presents an oversimplified financial complexity. Trust is shaped by the user perceived security, ethnic behavior, or institutional reputation, not from the user's enjoyment. Lastly is price value. Price value is the most significant among other variables in affecting initial trust. This means that the student's initial trust lies on the benefit of using financial robo-advisors justifying their cost. Whether Jakarta or Jabodetabek has easy access to financial services and high living costs. Students with limited income, they being price sensitive, make them more likely to weigh cost-benefit trade-off when planning to invest something. A robo-advisor is perceived to be able to deliver meaningful insight, automating their decision effectively, or even offering high-quality recommendation at a low price that they would earn the trust. Additionally, price value extend beyond monetary factors because they are investing in time, usability, and the psychological cost of switching from manual practices. Trust must be earned through demonstrate performance and logical reasoning. So, price value is a tangible and visible metric for the students to determine if a tool is worthy of their trust.
So, in conclusion, this study found that initial trust plays a critical role in influencing university students to adopt financial robo-advisors in Jabodetabek. This study uses the UTA-UT framework from the perspective of trust. The independent variables performance expectancy and price value have a significant relationship with initial trust as a mediating variable, which then influences behavioral intention to use FRAs. Due to multicollinearity, researchers reduced the number of questions for initial trust and behavioral intention variables. This concludes and answers the research questions on the relationship of trust in adoption of FRAs. For the practical implication, this study's research may bring benefits and advantages towards financial investment platforms for further understanding about their users to explore their segmented market. Looking at the respondent profile, university students seem to be a highly lucrative market and have a limited experience, which is a perfect market for FRAs. These new features of investment platforms help ease investors to make financial decisions based on the variable that influence initial trust and behavioral intentions. And as mentioned, the significant variables are price value and performance expectancy, where both variables are positively related to that initial trust variable. With initial trust's positive relationship with behavioral intention, therefore, the communication of the product should consider these two variables. And lastly, for the limitations and future research, this study is limited in the sense that it only covers a limited area in Indonesia. Although efforts were taken to include more respondents outside Jakarta, students from Jakarta are still dominant. This may be a sign that financial literacy and investing from a young age are more prone to those from the capital city. A follow-up study dedicated to the non-Jakarta area might yield a different pattern that sheds more light on the phenomenon. Thank you everyone for watching our video. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Goodbye.